So I'm Gabrielle Watson. I'm running for state representative in District 3, which is Moulton Borough and Madison and Tamworth. Here in New Hampshire, we're really fortunate because we actually have very safe elections. We have a long tradition of deliberative democracy with our town meeting structures. It's a very open, transparent process. It's run well. It works well. We have fair and safe elections in New Hampshire. I mean, that's something that we should all be very proud of. But we are seeing around the country that there are efforts everywhere, like half of the states in the country, where they're trying to restrict who can vote, restrict when you can vote, restrict how they vote. I mean, it's a really scary thing. It's un-American and it's wrong. And it's one of the reasons, frankly, that I felt like I needed to run, because those decisions are made at the state legislature level. And so every person who gets elected to the state legislature matters. When I was deciding, because I'd never done anything like this before, I'd never thought about stepping up for state office. Like, was not anything I had ever considered. But as I became more and more concerned about what's going on, I decided, okay, let me look at this, let me check it out. And I asked my local representative, could I shadow you and kind of see what it's about? And he said, yeah, come along. Like, we actually have a committee meeting this next Monday. So I joined him. And I didn't know what to expect. The legislature is controlled by the Republicans, and so the committees, likewise, they have a Republican chair, and they have slightly more Republicans on them than they do Democrats. And you would think that they could, therefore, just steamroll over the Democrats and do whatever they want because they have the votes, they could do that. But what I saw in this committee was talking about issues that they really disagreed on. Like, there was a lot of disagreement on the subject matter, but they were able to have like this really civil, respectful, thoughtful, substantive conversation about what they were talking about. And it was hard things. It was very contentious issues, right? And that gave me hope that, not only is civility still possible within state government, but I could definitely do that. Like, I could definitely be a part of those kinds of conversations where you're just like really working with people across the aisle to try and find common sense solutions that are going to be the best for everybody. So that was very heartening to me. That's when I decided. Yep.
That's not the image of politics we get.
No.
And especially like cable news, it's just so much yelling and
oh my gosh,
lack of civility.
And people are so tired of that. And it's real. It exists also, amongst politicians. There is that. Well, I was knocking on doors this week, and I always ask, like, what's on your mind? Like, what are you thinking about? Because I really want to hear. Because when I go to the State House, those are the things that I'm going to be bringing with me. And this gentleman said, right out of the box, civility in politics. Like, I can't stand what it's like now. We've got to do something to fix that. And it kind of part of it broke my heart, because it's like, yeah, people see that and they don't want to have anything to do with politics, and they think politicians are like these awful people, and they don't want to vote, and they don't want to listen to what's going on in politics, and they're tuning it out when so much of what gets decided by the state or at the local level affects them personally. I feel like my Quaker background is something that I bring to this, because Quakers have this tradition of consensus agreements. Now, we don't use consensus agreements in the state legislature. It's by vote. But in order to get to good solutions that more people can vote for, it takes a lot of working together. It takes talking about, like, well, what's really at the core of what you care about? Like, how could we improve on this so that we both feel like there's something that we're supportive of in the solution that we're bringing forward. And it takes civility to do that, and it takes a lot of hard work and consensus building. So.